I have tried to update myself so that I can make this video uh, because what I am hearing is not palatable at all regarding Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar. In the first instance, that the African Democratic Congress adopted by the coalition uh, is now taken to court by a faction of the original stakeholders that felt marginalized in the transaction, in the way and manner the party was acquired by the coalition. The faction that felt marginalized in the procedure. And it doesn't look like a case that the party or the faction that let out the party will win against the accusers. So that is one side of the unpalatable story that I'm hearing. That the ADC is no longer as sure as we felt. That okay, now the coalition has acquired a political platform through which it will field candidates in the coming 2027 general elections, with particular reference to the presidential election. Now, we go to the People's Democratic Party, where Peter Obi and Atiku used to belong. Since 2022 or 2023, Peter Obi ceased being a member of the party when he defected into the Labour Party to be the presidential candidate of the party. And Atiku recently, about less than 2 weeks ago, resigned from the party together with his cronies, or with his supporters, let's just say, with his supporters. So, and beyond that, that the PDP, even though offering the presidential ticket back to Peter Obi, that contested for it in 2023 without getting it, the party is solidly in the hands of Nyesom Wike, who, while remaining a chieftain of the party, PDP, supported the election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress in 2023 and has vowed to support his re-election in 2027, if only because he is in the government of the President Tinubu as a minister in his president. And others like Seyi Makinde, the governor of Oyo State, supported the election of Tinubu in 2023 and vowing to support him again in 2027. Ayodele Ifayose, a former governor of Ekiti State, also is vowing to support the re-election of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Not to mention governors that have actually defected into the All Progressives Congress. So, what remains really of the PDP, People's Democratic Party, is unpredictable. But definitely, more people have defected from the PDP into the APC in recent times. So, while nobody can say who is waiting to defect. So the ADC in disarray, the PDP in disarray. What about the Labour Party? The Labour Party of Peter Obi is also in terrible disarray. The good side is that the Peter Obi faction of the Labour Party won in court against the Abure faction, with the court declaring that Abure is no longer the chairman of the party. But from what an insider is telling us, that Abure remains a faction of the party because he and his faction have not reconciled with the fact that Abure is no longer the chairman of the party, and that there are not less than 4 or 5 factions in the party, and that he, as an insider, as a stakeholder in the Labour Party, is not sure how many parties, how many factions are, in the Labour Party as at this morning, August 4, 2027, that he cannot see that the party is in total chaos, a state of flux. So, the Independent National Electoral Commission is said to have rejected the list of candidates for election in Abuja submitted by Abure because he's no longer the valid chairman of the party. So, this is an indication that the Labour Party may not be able to put its house in order for the 2027 election. And my own fear is this: the All Progressives Congress, with particular reference to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is behind the destabilization of the People's Democratic Party. Who can guarantee that the same scenario is not playing out with the African Democratic Congress and the Labour Party? With particular reference to the Labour Party, I stopped trusting Joe Ajaero and Festus Osifo as chieftains of the Labour Party since they betrayed workers in 2024. And there's nothing to reassure us that the party is not in the teeth of the All Progressives Congress, with particular reference to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So, where does Peter Obi belong now? For some time I have been advising Peter Obi to liaise with Omoyele Sowore to become the presidential candidate, and that Omoyele Sowore should please be magnanimous enough and accommodate Peter Obi. Why have I been saying it? It's because I trust that Omoyele Sowore will never compromise with the ruling party upon his dead body. Of that, I don't know anybody who will doubt it. And so, if Omoyele Sowore can be magnanimous enough to say that, okay, because many Nigerians will want North, South, and zonal justice, Peter Obi, I side with you. And they work together. I see huge progress. Because Omoyele Sowore is in grip of his political party, and he will not betray Peter Obi or Nigerians, including myself, including our Papa, Pa Ayo Adebanjo, who has now joined the ancestral world, who said if Peter Obi does not win this election, Nigeria is gone. It was not a cause. It was his own knowledge of who Bola Ahmed Tinubu is. And I, myself, my humble self, kept saying somebody who did not see anything wrong in the presidency of Muhammadu Buhari and worked for his re-election only because he wanted to succeed Muhammadu Buhari will not do anything better than Muhammadu Buhari. Indeed, he has done worse than Muhammadu Buhari or even any president that we know, because no president has said all subsidies are gone. And those painting the degenerating economy as economic reform, they have no conscience. Unfortunately, they include Professor, the former central governor of Nigeria. Oh God, the current Anambra state governor, Charles Soludo, of all people, calling it economic reform. Economic reform of all subsidies are gone, and claim to be transferring funds to indigent households and sinking Nigeria in debts worse than rulers who didn't say all subsidies are gone. So what manner of economic reform? But where we are going is that what will give Peter Obi solid ground to appear on the ballot box as presidential candidate in 2027. With all I have heard between yesterday and today, I stand on my ground. Indeed, on my knees for two persons, Peter Obi and Omoyele Sowore. Knowing that if Omoyele Sowore can be magnanimous enough to accommodate Peter Obi, granted that Peter Obi is willing to work with him, he will not betray Peter Obi, and his presidential candidacy is sure for 2027. That's my plea to Omoyele Sowore and Peter Obi. But this PDP, what do you know you are going to meet there? You will be frustrated with the likes of Wike, Seyi Makinde, Ayodele Fayose, and people like that. Dino Melaye has just defected from the PDP, saying because of Atiku Abubakar. Not because of Nigeria, but because of Atiku Abubakar. So whatever Abubakar says, they will do. Whether you talk of Rauf Aregbesola, Nasir El-Rufai, Dele Momodu, Kenneth Okonkwo, and the rest of them. So you want a sure platform to contest in 2027. My recommendation remains Omoyele Sowore and this African Action Congress, AAC.